I've not done a live stream in years, so I've got no idea how it works. Just gonna wait to see if I get any notifications to see if people are watching. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll just start. I think I'll just start because I kind of work it out. I'm streaming from my phone and I can't work out how to do the settings and stuff like that. So first of all, thanks for coming to this. If you're new to me, hey, I'm Michelle Therese. I'm an author, motivational speaker, and all the rest. I am pretty tired, but I'm doing these streams to help people. The state of the mental health system in the UK is pretty shit. It's pretty fucked up. I made a video yesterday about Sim, and people here in the UK getting arrested for attempting suicide and stuff like that. And I thought, what can I do to help? I am a coach, and I normally offer £20 per session, but I'm saying if anybody who attends this wants coaching with me, I'll offer a free session, for completely free. But anyway, yeah, depression, it's painful. You get into this dark hole where you think, I'm never going to get out of it, and at the end of the day, I've been there, I'm real on this channel. I'll share it how it is. I mean, there's been times where I just used to lay in my bed and just eat super noodles and cut myself and think, what, I've got fuck all to live for, and I got through that, and it wasn't an overnight process. It took years. But what I reminded myself each and every time was there is hope and nothing stays the same forever. And I always say that. I say that in every single one of my videos. And it isn't just a cliche out of book line, it's true. How I was now at 27 years old is nothing like I was at 23 or 22. And that's only 5 years. 5 years ago, I was in a homeless hostel. I was slicing myself. I was drinking. I was doing drugs. I was committing offences. I wasn't a nice-ish person to be around. I didn't really have respect for the people. But now I enjoy life. And I'm going to let you in with why I enjoy life, And the first thing I'm going to say is a lot of people want to just get rid of the depression straight away. They think, Carol, I'm going off, sorry. A lot of people just think, what, I'm feeling depressed, right, I need to do this, I need to get over it in 6 weeks. You can't think like that. Whether it's a week, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 2 years, it's gonna be how long it's gonna be. Don't pressure yourself. And that's the first thing I'm gonna say. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be suicidal because we're human. And a lot of people forget that. And, a lot of people forget that, we are human. So much pressure in the media, so much pressure on TV. And to men as well, I've had this discussion with people today, about men bottling their emotions up and they're not allowed to cry and, they're not allowed to share emotion. And I think that's just ridiculous. It's people are human, so if you need to cry, cry. The next thing I'm going to say is in this life, everyone's zooming past, they're not focused on the now. And I mean, even now I'm using a smartphone to communicate my message, but be mindful about, what you're doing. Don't actually enjoy what you're doing. For example, in the past, I used to just walk past nature and beautiful trees, and I didn't actually enjoy my life. I didn't see the worth in my life. But now I do. Now I genuinely do, and that's knowing that you are unique. There's never going to be another you. Whoever you are, there's never going to be another you. And what you have to offer is unique. And the secret to happiness, I've found, is by really living in the moment, not worrying about the things you can't control. I mean, I've done a qualification in counselling, and that taught me a lot. But what taught me more was life experience, you know? Instead of just zooming past and focusing on keeping up with the trends and, keeping up with the social media stuff, actually slow down and see the beauty in the trees, see the beauty in the little things that you might be overlooking. It might be, the fact that you have got a nice comfy bed. It might be the fact that you've got a favourite hoodie. No matter how small it is, it doesn't matter how small it is. It literally could be, I've got a favourite cup that I put my coffee in. And it gets even smaller than that. And those are the things, you need to just focus on preservation. Because when you're feeling like killing yourself, when you're feeling depressed, it really is overwhelming. A lot of people are like, right, I'll give myself 6 to 8 weeks, and then, if I don't recover from that, there's something wrong with me. And it's like, I say to people, hang on a minute, why are you setting pressure on yourself? Like I just said before, why are you setting pressure on yourself? Start small, start small. For me, like I said, I'm going to briefly talk about my experience in prison. I always talk about this because it's kind of what really kicked me up the arse to change. I used to be self-harming and drinking and doing some drugs and mixing with, the people that I probably shouldn't have been mixing with. And when I was in jail, I was speaking to people and they were doing life sentences and they were still happy. And I was like, well, how on earth are you happy? You're not getting out in 20 years. And it dawned on me while I was in there that happiness, it isn't just a physical state. It really isn't just having money or having a car or having a girlfriend or boyfriend and all of that. It's a choice. You can be happy in prison. You can be happy in a homeless hostel. You can be happy when you're broke because there is always hope. And this woman said to me, I'm going to be doing, 17 years, whether I like it or not. So I have a look at the positives or, I just rot in it. And I didn't get it at the time. And I thought, you know what, rubbish, I just disregarded it. But then about 3 or 4 years later, that kind of dawned on me, like, that girl was talking sense. And I used to self-harm, I used to slice myself, and I used to do it every day, and I was doing it to punish myself as a sense of control because I didn't know how else I could control what was going on around me. And I thought, maybe if I do this, I'll get rid of all my emotions. But it didn't really change anything. And I started to realise that only I'm in control of my own destiny, really. And it sounds cliche, but it really isn't, Yeah, the mental health system's shit in the UK. It really is. I speak to people every day about it because that's what I'm passionate about. But it really does start from within, even if it's just getting up, making yourself a cup of tea. You need to reward yourself. I'll say this, reward yourself for the small wins. And I don't mean massive wins like, right, I went to town and back and I did my shopping, Start small. It could be, I got up today and I got to wash. You know, there really isn't any shame in struggling with depression. I've got a father that struggles with severe depression. You know, I've got various friends that have, people with severe depression, and there isn't any shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's you, you know. But, reward yourself. Reward yourself often. I reward myself every day. I get up, I write a list of little things that I want to do. You know, it might be do laundry, blah, blah, blah. And even if I do one or two of those things, I reward myself. I like cheese. People on here know I love cheese. You know, early one, I was just eating a block of Edam cheese. Like, that was my reward. But also, I bought myself a new CD. You need to remind yourself that everything has got a beautiful side. I say this all the time to the people that I work with. There's always two ways of seeing things, you know? For me, a lot of people might think, oh, well, you was locked up in hospital at 12 years old and you was abused and all this happened to you, and how are you here today still talking about it? And everyone's got their own story. You know, everyone's got bad things that have happened to them, and it's whether you go into the, use it in a negative way or a positive way. And I've dedicated my life to helping people and inspiring people and being an author. And that came from pain. And there is a chapter in my upcoming memoir about the abuse scandal that I endured, about the positives of that experience, the fact that I went through all of that and now I can turn my pain into art. If you are new to me today, briefly I'll talk about what got me into mental health campaigning and, being so passionate about this. So at 12 years old, I was put in a secure mental hospital for many years in the UK, subjected to a lot of abuse, all kind of abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and emotional manipulation for many years. When I was released, I was given very little support under the shambles UK mental health system, and I was kind of left to rot because they didn't want to realise or even admit that, they were the ones that abused me and did the wrong thing. But I got over that, and I'm loving my life now. I do coach people, I write books, and I'm grinding. I do a hell of a lot of different things. Another thing I'm going to say is don't overwork yourself. When you've got depression, like I said before, people might think, right, I need to push myself. I need to prove to other people that I can get through this within a couple of days. I mean, I've got my father. And sometimes, sorry about that noise. I think they're fixing cars outside, so we might be in for a bit of special effects. He says to me, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, I wish I could be a better father. And I don't want him to say that. I always say it to him. Just because you've got depression doesn't mean that you're not a good father. So, whoever's watching this, just because you're struggling right now, that is not an indication of your character. It's an indication that you've got depression and that you're pretty strong, because it's a fucking horrible illness. And a lot of, in this country, I'm going off on a rant again. If in this country it really isn't viewed the same as physical health. Like you could go to the doctor and be like, you know what, I've got a bad rash or I've got a broken arm or whatever, and they're like, you know what, okay, yeah, we can get that x-rayed and seen to in a few days or whatever. Depression, people, there's no mental health system now. And I really feel for people, like genuinely feel for people. If I've not mentioned, I run a group on Facebook. It's a campaigning / support group. It's mainly a campaigning group. It's called Fighting for Better Mental Health Services in the UK. And feel free to join. I've put the link in the description. And in that group, you'll meet other people that have been through the same thing. And maybe that you can make a friend. Maybe, You can find some like rallies to go to because there's a hell of a lot of campaigns going on. And it's just a resource that I created to help people. I'll talk about sim briefly because I think it's important actually. You know, for the people that don't know anything about sim, I do recommend you watch the video that I did a couple of days ago about personality disorder, because sim, you know, Serenity Integrated Mentoring, it's getting worse. And I'm going slightly off topic here, and I do apologise, but you know, this is it. This is to do with depression, because people that are struggling in the UK are getting punished. And I urge you to sign the petition and share it as much as you can at stopsim.co.uk. It's, you know, a friend's website. It's not my website. It's a friend's website. It's scary. It really is scary, but don't be too scared, because there is a lot of people that still care. I'm one of them. And I've got quite a lot of other friends that do YouTube that do care. I can't see any people. Literally, I'm using my mobile, and I've not got 1,000 subscribers yet, and I can't see anything. It just says live. So yeah, I don't know if I'm talking to myself. Yes, the essence of life is what keeps me going, and I think it's what keeps my dad going as well. And the fact that things really do change. Things honestly do change. When he sat in that black hole, you know, with the razors to my wrist, like I was, and really planning my own death, because I was, you know, I thought, you know what? I think I'll just live for a few more weeks. And I remember, like I said, when I was in prison, that's what changed. The fact that I saw other people being happy in the darkest of situations. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you should be grateful for what you've got, but I am, but not in that tone. I'm saying there is always something positive about your situation. There is. I mean, I'd like you to do that now. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it in the chat. You can do it personally. You know, just think of one thing that made you smile this week. You know, one thing that keeps you going. One thing that really can hold close to your heart, because we need to do more of that, because that's what keeps you going. You know, for me, you know, I'll say this because I trust you guys, and this is an intimate channel, and this is about mental health. I do struggle, you know. Yeah, I am a counsellor, and I am a YouTuber, and I am an author, and I'm passionate, but some days I do struggle. You also need to remember that there is no cure, you know. There is no suddenly you don't have depression again. It's gonna come in waves. You know, you'll have good months, and then you might go away for a bit, and then it comes back. That is mental illness, and that's okay. You know, like my dad says, he rides the wave. You know, when you're down, you know, I expect it. For me, I always get pretty low around Christmas time. So I've learned to like put things in place for that. Like I get like plastic plates, and I get you know, plastic cutlery, and because if I'm being honest with you, I don't cook properly. I mean, I did a video just recently about cooking with depression and etc. You know, there's no shame in that. You know, there literally is no shame in buying microwave meals or just buying plastic cutlery because you don't have the energy to wash it. At least you're eating, and it's those little wins. The day you give up completely, that's a shame. You know, even if all you did today was breathe, you know, get up and go to the toilet and then go back to bed, that's okay. I can relate to that, because that's where you're at right now. But if that is where you're at right now, and you are watching this video for some hope, I just want to say, take it as small as you can get, you know? Think about eating the next day. Think about just maybe eating a cup of soup, a bit of bread. You know, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. But yeah, I am very passionate about this. Very, very passionate. I've dedicated my life to it because I want to help people. you know. I do offer coaching, like motivational counselling. Normally it's £20 a session. I mean, I'm not going to ask people to actually put their hands up because that'd be a bit disrespectful. If you are interested in working with me for free, like I said in the introduction, go to michelleterez.com or send me an email at michelleterez2@gmail.com. You know, but I just hope that this video has been helping, because people do care here in the UK. I mean, I genuinely do care. It's appalling what's going on in the UK, and 2 to 3, 4 times a week I'm doing Twitter spaces. I mean, over on Twitter I've been doing a hell of a lot of spaces about mental health. I've run a space called Mental Health Real Talk, and this coming Thursday I'm doing one about Stop Sim. I've got quite a few speakers coming up on there, and you know, so if you are a Twitter user, you can join in on that. So that is Terez Writing over on Twitter, and I do a hell of a lot of talks on stopping sim. But yeah, what else about depression? Well, the thing is, yeah, that's my computer blowing up in the background, so there might be a big explosion. It's not supposed to be making that sound. Just going back to that pressure thing, you know, a lot of people, especially men, found it. They're brought up on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, men say, you know, oh, you know, I can't talk about my feelings, or you know, it's not masculine. You know, so many people are told that, and it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. Men are human. Everyone's the same. You know. Yeah, I think we've. Hiya, Abdul. Hiya. Thanks for watching. Where you from? Yeah, and I'll say that, you know, it's appalling that people are told and taught at a young age to bottle up their emotions, because I think, especially, this is just for men, you know, it causes mental health issues. I know my dad has said the same to me. He said that, you know what, in the 60s and 70s, you know, if I actually said, you know, oh, I'm struggling today, I'd be laughed at, or I'd be told, oh, you're a man, you can't talk about that stuff. Like, seriously? No wonder the male suicide rate is the highest. As a woman, I'm saying this, you know, it's okay for you to be depressed as a man, you know. This toxic masculinity stuff needs to stop. It needs to go. You know, it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to want comfort. It's okay to want hugs. You know, it's okay to cry. You know, that isn't just a woman thing. We need to get rid of that rhetoric. It's not healthy, and it's causing suicides. And that's how I feel about that. It's you know, a lot of men have come to me and have said, you know what, I don't feel able to go to a counsellor because of shame, or you know, my friends might laugh at me, or I might be seen as, you know, weak because I'm a man and I talk about my feelings. I've got a friend that, you know, he's not from this country, and you know, he was taught, you know, he was actually hit, he was actually, you know, told by, you know, his parents, you know, you really can't cry, you know, you must be strong at all times. So yeah, my heart goes out to you, honestly. So just as a recap for anyone that's watching this, I've been covering mindfulness, really. I've been covering a bit about my life, you know, and I've been covering a bit about who I actually am, and you know, what I do, and what I'm trying to do here in the UK. You know, I'm doing this because I care. You know, I'm not doing this for likes or follows. I'm doing this because I do give a fuck. You know, I've lost people to suicide. You know, I've lost loved ones to suicide. I've seen the state of this UK mental health system get worse and worse. And I'm offering services to people, low cost, you know, coaching and counselling, £20 a session. But like I said, to anybody that is interested, I'll give you it for free for a bit, because I do care, and it's needed. I'm just going to go back to talking about mindfulness briefly for the people that are new or, you know, what changed for me was when I realised that you need to accept what you can't control, man. And that is a very cliche thing to say, but I'm going to go deeper than that, And I'm going to use the word, don't battle with yourself. Don't battle your emotions. Your emotions are valid. I used to do this. I used to think, I'm depressed, or I'm struggling, I'm angry, or I'm suicidal. Right, that's it. I'm going to smash things and scream, and I'm going to slash myself and tell the whole fucking world about it. And that's okay. But it didn't really change how I feel inside. And it got worse. It got to the stage that I was self-harming, and I just thought, you know what, I need to give up. And I did try and end my life. And I'm so glad I didn't, because, I'm here today. And every day is different, you know. There was always something. I'll say this about opportunities as well. A lot of people in this country, well, in the world, aren't able to see the beauty in things. It might just be, when people get on a bus, and I'm one of those people that talk to people on the bus. I'm one of those people that smile at people in the street. I'm one of those people that if I see someone in need, I'll just go and sit next to them and talk to them. And I don't like to live life rushing. So if I'm got time, I'm just walking down the street and I see a beautiful tree, well, flowers. Yeah, I'll go and look at them and I'll just walk nowhere, just enjoying life. I think that's causing a lot of mental health issues, the fact that it really is, a 9 to 5 grind in society. You have to get up at this time and do this at this time and please the boss, as it were. And no wonder, rent is going up, food prices going up, evictions, dodgy benefit sanctions, horrible DWP. There's a lot of pressure in this world, and there's a hell of a lot of anger and disruption and pain and suffering. And yeah, I understand why people get animosity, and I understand why people get scared. But you really do need to just focus on you and what you can do right now to feel better. I'm not saying, oh, it's going to go away tomorrow. For example, when I was living in a homeless hostel, I was scared of the other people that I was there with. They were loud and violent at times, and I'm not like that. And I stood out a bit, and I thought, you know what, this is it. So I just, I focused on what I could control, and believe it or not, I actually started to study while I was in there. Not a degree, but I started to do an open university course while I was in there, like an introduction course. Just focused my mind on something because I couldn't control me being there. Because if I left, I would be homeless. If I fought back, I could get into a fight and get evicted. So I just weighed up my options and I thought, you know what? The best thing that I can do right now is exercise my mind. And I actually do recommend that. Instead of waking up with maybe not much routine, I'm not saying get a job because that is the last thing you're going to need when you're depressed. I get it. I understand that. Start small. But maybe working maybe a book into your life or a podcast or something that's going to stimulate you. It could be a hobby. It could be sewing, knitting, something at home. Because I get it, when you're depressed, you don't really want to go out. I get that. But I'm telling you now that the time I've spent studying at the Open University has helped me absolutely so much. It's given me something to focus on. And when I get my assignment back, I'm like, wow, like I've actually done this. I'm capable of this. I couldn't recommend it enough. You know, I've got a lot of friends that suffer from mental issues and depression that study from depression, and it seems to really help them as well. So, yeah. Another thing that I'm going to mention is you need to understand, well, I'm going to say this, art and music. If you can possibly be creative, do. Because pain, all humans are going to go through pain. And your story is uniquely you. You know, my story is uniquely me, and your story is uniquely you. And if you don't want to share that in the future with anybody, that's cool, you know. But maybe do something like keep a journal, for example, like a diary. Write down your thoughts, like, bad day today or good day today, like flowers or whatever. Even your dreams. Just keep a note of everything. That's another suggestion, because you look back and you think, you know what, I got through that. I don't journal anymore, but I did when I was in the hostel, and I look back and I think, you know what, I'm so glad I got through that. If you are just tuning in, yeah, I'm Michelle Therese. I'm a published author. I'm a very passionate mental health campaigner, and I am a motivational speaker. I do these live streams on YouTube about once a week. This is the first one I've done in a hell of a long time. Just wanted to show my face and say that I appreciate all the love and all the likes and all the comments and all the subscribes and, everything that's been happening for me on YouTube. I also wanted to say that my book is nearly done. The memoir about my abuse in services. And also over on Twitter, I'm doing a lot of campaigning to end SIM. Got a lot of guest speakers on Thursday talking about Serenity Integrated Mentoring, which needs stopping now. And if you are, new to Twitter Spaces, there's no video, it's literally just audio, and there is no pressure to speak. You can just listen with your headphones on. So that might help people that are a bit shyer. Depression's tough. This country is getting worse, and I'll say it. It really is getting worse. I was born in the early 90s, and I've seen it. I've seen it get worse and worse, and I just want to help people and inspire people. And for every one person that I touch and inspire, that's my day completed. And I mean that. I reply to every single comment. If you send me an email, I'll reply to you within a few hours. Even if you just say, anything, I will reply. As long as it's not too rude, of course. For me, like I say, knowing that tomorrow's another day, I used to think it was cliche. I did. I used to think it was cliche, but it really isn't cliche. You make your life. If I wake up today and I decided to do the space. That was a choice. And suicide is a choice. And I'm not pro-suicide at all. And I'm not against it. It's a choice. It really is a choice. And I hope that if you are struggling right now, you can see that there is light and that people do get through it and nothing stays the same. In 6 weeks' time, if you're still around, you'll think, you know what, I do feel a bit different. You might not be in a completely different housing situation. You might not be in a different financial situation. But I tell you one thing that's going to change. You're going to be wiser. You're going to have more life experience. And you're going to be more equipped. Like I said, it took me nearly 5.5 years for me to actually calm the fuck down and actually enjoy my life. I thought that I would probably end up dead or in prison for a long time. And I'm so glad that I didn't go down that route, because everyone's got their own talents and everything that they're good at. People need to slow down, man. I always say this. People are just walking around. People don't smile at people anymore. I smiled at someone on the bus the other day and they just looked at me as if I was a creep. I'm being genuinely nice, and there's a lot of hatred in this world, and a lot of people can't see the beauty in it. But I urge you to see the beauty in it. Even the smallest of things. Look at the small wins, like I say. If you get up, and let's say you live on your own, which is a blessing, get up and make it a point. Make it a point to eat your favourite foods. Make it a point to do what you love, you know? There is always something to be positive about. Always something, you know? It isn't a case of, oh, well, that's too small to mention. Nothing is too small to mention. The fact that you can watch your favourite TV on Prime Video, that's worth a mention, because I love The Expanse. Do you like The Expanse? Put it in the comments if you do. Up to season 5, I think. Up to season 6? I think it is. If you've got a cress plant on your windowsill that's growing, like I said, I can't stress enough how small these little wins are. Some people think, oh, one day you suddenly wake up and have a realisation. It wasn't like that for me. And like that prison thing, it took years for me to realise what that woman said. And if you are new to me, I'm going to go over it. Sorry for the people that have just listened to that. But yeah, I was in prison, and I was wondering why people are so happy in there. Because I was new to mindfulness. I was new to, my head was fucked. I was anxious. I was self-harming. I was like, I don't know how I can be happy. And there was a woman doing 22-year sentence, and she got another 17 years left. And she was happy all the time. Like, literally, she was doing so much. And, I sat down with her over a coffee and some cards. And I said, how would you do it? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, how do you keep on going, in here? And she says, well, you make it, life is what you make it. You either look at the terrible things or look at the positive things. And that, like I said, at the time, I didn't really see anything of it. I thought, oh, cliche. And then another year went by of chaos. And then I started to realise that woman was right. Because her room was full of all different artwork that she did. And she made it a point every day to make a new piece of artwork. And she was a good artist. And I can't go into too much because I don't want to make her identifiable. But my God, she was talented, and she was also a decent person. She had manners, and she looked at the positives. She was doing education in there. She was studying, she had made her own routine. You can do a lot for yourself without without a lot of people don't realize how much you can actually do just over the course of maybe 3 or 4 months. You can develop a routine, even if it doesn't mean getting out the house. It could mean getting up, having a cup of soup at 10 in the morning, watching Jeremy Kyle on TV. Don't like him. Playing a computer game. It doesn't have to be to everyone else's beck and call. It really could be, right, I've got my own routine, which means getting up at 10 a.m, having, like I said, a cup of soups, maybe going for a walk at the shop, coming back and cooking a tea, or just having some toast. That is a routine. My routine started small, and I mean small. My getting up time was erratic, and I used to get up, but I made it a point to do one of the same things every day. And this is what I tell my clients all the time. Don't just set an alarm clock. That ain't gonna work. Think you need to do the same thing every day, and it doesn't matter what time. It could be get a shower, which is, I love showers. I am probably shower too much, but I love showers and it helps me, and that's my happy place. It could be have a cup of soup. It could be turn on the TV. It could be go for a small walk. It could be knitting, sewing, singing, dancing, ballerina, whatever. Try and do the same thing every day. I'm going to use the example of a shower because I can relate to that. I used to shower sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day, because it was something that I was focused on. And like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. Work that into your routine. My dad, and I'm going to refer to another friend who I can't name, always goes to the shop just to get newspapers and tobacco every day because it gets that person out the house. People have misconceptions about depression. I'll also say this: sometimes you don't want to die. Sometimes, for me, I still sometimes struggle. I don't have suicidal thoughts anymore, but I sometimes struggle. I think, I'm not good enough, or I'm ugly, or, I'm really bad looking, or whatever, and it gets to me. But I always focus on the things that I've achieved. And I'll say that, even if you're 11 years old, even if you're 80 years old, you've achieved so much in your life. And I want you to reflect on that. And I want you to remember how that made you feel, getting that certificate or making that person feel happy. And it doesn't have to be educational. It doesn't have to be, oh, I've got a degree, or it could be, I manage my money well, or it could be, I always tidy my flat, or it could be, I was a good listener to that friend. You need to really tap into the small things, because as humanity, we're overlooking far too much. This actually genuine, authentic conversation, it's few and far between. Too many people are fake. Too many people are using the word authenticity and then spouting unauthenticity. But I am real, and I do give a fuck. And, I'm not monetized on this channel at the moment. I'm doing this because I care. Because I've seen the devastation caused by the mental health system, and I want to make a difference and help people. And I want people that have watched this video to actually go to bed and feel, someone cares. That's what I want. Try and do one of the things that I've suggested. Don't pressure yourself. Don't give yourself a set time. Don't be like, you know what, right, that's it. It's been 6 months. I'm still not over it. Might take years. But that's okay. You're not a robot. You're not Stockfish. You're not Alpha Zero. You're not iRobot. You're human. Allow it. And if you are a man, try and not. It's going to be hard because it's drilled into us drilled into men. Sorry, I'm not a man. It's drilled into men that they can't have emotions, but you can. You can be suicidal. You can be depressed. You can cry. You're human. You're not a robot. Try and think of one thing before you go to bed tonight that's made you happy. I know it's only Tuesday, but think of something today that has made you smile, that you want to do more of, that you made a difference. And if you're not too shy, I'd like you to tell me in the comments after this video's finished if this actually made any sense. Did it help you? What can I do better? I just want to help people. So, any comments would be suggested. Yeah. My tummy's rumbling, so I'm going to go and have some lasagna, I think. I'm going to do this quite often. I need to juggle this and Twitter Spaces and God knows what else. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep this up because I do want to help people. Like I said, if you do want to work with me, like coaching, motivational speak, stuff like that, even counselling, low-level counselling, email me at michelletherese2@gmail.com, and I offer completely free session because, like I said, I do care. My upcoming book is available later on this year, and I will continue uploading motivational videos Any suggestions are greatly appreciated. And thank you for listening. And I hope that this has made a difference. And if you haven't, please press that subscribe button. So next time I start talking, you're going to be notified. And it might inspire you. I hope it has today. Adios. And let me go and get some cheese. Bye, Michelle.